Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Welcome back. I do make a lot of content around lifestyle, fashion, beauty, travel, pretty much all the good stuff. If you're interested in seeing content like that, consider giving my channel a subscribe. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into today's video. Okay guys, currently I've been focused a lot about evolving myself and being better and being productive and just setting goals and accomplishing my goals this year. That has been my focus. So more recently, I've been pouring a lot into my routines and things that could better me overall. I oftentimes think of things that I can do today that'll better my overall life and well-being. And then I realize it's not a matter of what I do today, it's a matter of what I do today and every day after today, because they're compounding. In order to improve your life, you have to do changes that compound over time that ultimately put you in a completely different timeline, wavelength, general vicinity of your past life or the life that you're no longer trying to live, so you can shift and move into the life you are trying to live and become the type of person that you are trying to be. So I put together a list of 7 habits that I do daily that in the last 2.5 months or since the beginning of 2025 I've done daily that I've definitely felt like have made a change in how I feel and how I look and just the quality of my life. And I want to share them with you in hopes that maybe you would consider doing them too. Maybe you're trying to improve your life. Maybe you're trying to improve your well-being, your health, your mental health, your physical fitness, just trying to get better and evolve. Consider trying any of these 7 habits. I'm not going to share them in any particular order, in any particular rank. I'm just going to share them and you can tweak them and figure out how they work best in your lifestyle. Habit 1, going for a walk every day. Going on a walk every day made me realize that it not only has a lot of physical benefits, but a lot of mental and emotional benefits that I didn't quite realize when I first started. As you can expect, physically, you're moving your body, it gets you going. Walking every day has a way of boosting your heart health and helping to strengthen your heart muscles, which is essential because your heart is literally the powerhouse of your body. One of the main reasons why I started walking every day is because I wanted to kind of tone down and slim down, and it has proven to help with my weight management as I feel like I'm able to burn calories and burn fat a little bit better. It's cardio. So I have been using that to kind of sustain me in between my workouts if I don't necessarily work out every day, because I don't work out every day. It's also a good way to aid in digestion. A lot of times when we go for these walks after a meal, it helps to move things throughout our intestines, get our body moving, get our body starting to process the foods that we've just eaten, and a lot of times reduce bloating. If you're ever just really overstuffed or really full, consider going on a walk. It helps to promote a smoother digestion. I have found that whenever I'm just like overwhelmed, overstimulated, or really just need a break and slightly stressed out, going on a walk really just kind of mellows me out. It kind of brings me down to a mellow base level that I feel like I can operate better mentally when I'm brought down a level. Walking, especially outside, has a way of boosting your mood and even lowering stress levels, which could go a long way, especially when you're stressed out or even overstimulated. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and go for a walk. Oftentimes on my walks, what I think about is my creative endeavors. I feel like walking kind of clears my head and allows me to come back to a mellow base point, which for me inspires more creativity. Like once my head and my mind is at a level clear point, I feel like I'm more inspired, I'm more creative, I'm more willing to do and create things. So I often do a lot of my creative brainstorming on my walks. Not only is it good physically and mentally, but it's gonna promote good sleep, especially when I have noticed that when I go on my long distance walks or if I'm walking for a long period of time, I get tired. I get really tired. And when you're really tired, your body wants to go to sleep. And sleep is a great way to reset your body. Rest is essential in your overall mental health, physical, like you need to sleep. And getting good sleep can only improve your life. So walking has definitely made me more tired, made me more restful. If you're not resting well, if you're not getting that reset, you're probably not operating at your fullest capacity. So consider walking every day, like I said, just to get your sleep cycle going. For the month of March, I've challenged myself to go on a walk every day, at least a mile, which and depending on the pace, can be about 30 minutes, could be less, could be more, depending on your pace. But walking every day has definitely given me something to look forward to, a time of day where I'm specifically clearing my mind, a time of day where I'm specifically getting some exercise. And when the day is beautiful, I'm getting some vitamin D in, or is it vitamin C? So the next habit is something that took me a little bit longer to get behind. I don't know. Initially, I just wasn't feeling it. But over time, doing it, I definitely see a difference in my mornings. So my next habit is only drink water the first hour that you're awake. For me, somebody who kind of constantly wakes up late and is not a morning person, but working on it, I would often wake up like 20, 30 minutes behind schedule, and I'd get up and then I start drinking coffee, get me going, get me moving, or juice, or just anything. A lot of times that will spike your sugar levels, that will spike your caffeine levels. Like, that isn't the best in terms of digestion and overall health. I found is drinking water at least the first hour while you're awake is a great way to hydrate your body, boost your metabolism, and improve your digestion. Consider this. You've been asleep for 6 to 8 hours a night. Like, that's time where you're not consuming any liquids. You're not hydrating your body at all. So when you wake up, it's really important to rehydrate your body after this long period of just rest. And drinking water has a way of replenishing all of the fluids that you didn't receive in that 6 to 8 hour stretch, and it has a way of like gently waking you up and starting your bodily processes. Drinking water has a way of kickstarting your metabolism, which gives you the energy that you will need to burn those calories throughout the day. One thing I've definitely noticed is that it's improved my digestion. Waking up in the morning, you're basically breaking a sleeping fast, and when you do that, you want to wake up gently, even yourself. Nobody wants to be waking up in a stressful environment, and oftentimes drinking coffee and juices can be that stressful environment. Suggested to drink between 8 to 10 ounces of water in the morning at room temperature. It's a lot easier for your body to process it because you're about at the same temperature, so that's important. So drinking water at any moment in the day is essential. You should be drinking water. So consider this habit and thank me later. Okay, the next habit is something I know a lot of people feel a lot of different ways about, but for me, I'm doing it. It has proven to be a habit that is done right by me time and time again. The next habit, wearing an eye mask, a sleep mask, whatever you want to call it. This piece of material has changed how I sleep. Seriously. For me, I feel like I've always seen people wear eye masks on TV and in movies when they go to sleep, and it was just kind of like this cute aesthetic thing. But it wasn't until I started getting migraines, really bad migraines, and I was really light sensitive. So I would look for whenever I would try to get rid of it, I would bury my head in the pillow and just try to avoid all light. And then one day I tried an eye mask, and that blocked out all light and really just helped me calm down and go to sleep, which helped me relieve my migraines over time. Wearing an eye mask blocks out the light, which ultimately promotes melatonin production in your body naturally. And that melatonin helps you go to sleep. It's just like when you're on an airplane, or genuinely when you get sleepy at night, it's because the less access to light is your brain realizing, okay, maybe it's time to wind down. Maybe it's time to go to sleep. Every time I put this eye mask on, even if I'm just trying to take a nap, I go to sleep a lot quicker than I would had I not. That is a level of science that you kind of stumble into, and then when you realize it, you're just that actually makes so much sense. So much sense. And now that I know it, I'll never unknow it. And now that I know it, you know it. Also, when wearing the eye mask, I realized it reduces a lot of stress and strain on my eyes. When I wake up the next morning, I don't wake up with puffy eyes. I don't wake up with soreness and tenderness. And I feel when I wear my eye mask, it's my eyes are tucked in, they're covered, they're put away and just covered and protected, and I can just go to sleep. Wearing an eye mask, I'm so comfortable, I'm so cozy. I'm in sleep mode. And when I'm in sleep mode, my body knows I'm in sleep mode, and my body presents me with that sleep. And it's always good sleep. It's always good sleep. Like I said, when I'm in sleep mode, I'm chilling, I'm cooling, I'm clearing my mind, I'm zoning out, I'm creating the space for me to just drift off. Like, I'm literally in a dark room and I have no other option but to go to sleep. And that is granted to me by my eye mask. Get you an eye mask. This one is off of Amazon. I'm rambling at this point. Get you an eye mask. Okay, next habit, which I've also come to realize a lot of people feel a lot differently about this. But for me, I've noticed this a lot more recently that it's been beneficial because I started actually doing it. Like, when I first thought about doing it, I was like, okay, like, yeah, that makes sense. But initially, it's a little bit harder to do than what you think. Next habit is when you have a to-do list, do the hardest thing first.
And I know people will be like, oh, do the easiest thing, do momentum, da, da, da.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a really anxious person, but my hardest task usually brings me the most anxiety on the list because I'm worried about if I can get it done and how I'm going to do it. And while yes, doing the smaller tasks can create momentum, knowing that I've done the hardest thing already makes doing everything else that much more of a breeze. Reasons why I say do the hardest thing first. It increases dopamine, which is your motivation chemical. It will enhance your willpower. It boosts productivity and creates momentum. It has the ability to lower mental clutter. Doing the hardest thing first definitely increases your dopamine right off the bat. And this ultimately creates a positive feedback loop. I've also realized that whenever I'm tackling a to-do list, it's usually in the morning. And I realize I'm the most productive in the morning. I have the most mental energy in the morning. I have the most physical energy like mid-morning. 9 to noon, I'm so locked in. I'm so locked in mentally. I can do so much. I have the most energy to allocate towards solving that problem, which I often realize isn't as much of a problem as I think it is, or it's not as hard of a problem to solve as I initially thought it was. Willpower, my energy depletes throughout the day, as does everybody. It's like at a certain point in the day, we just become less and less productive. You need to figure out that point in the day and try to do everything before that time, because learning that about yourself is also a productivity hack. The next habit that I felt has made a real big difference in my life, listening to nothing. Now, I am not a morning person. I don't want to talk in the morning. I don't want to talk. I don't want to have conversation. I'm just waking up. I'm just remembering who I am in the world, in life. I don't want to have a conversation unless it's absolutely necessary, dire, important. A lot of times whenever I'm getting ready or if I'm driving to work in the morning, it's silent. I don't want to hear music. I don't want to hear anything. I want to gather my thoughts. I want to organize my thoughts. I want to compartmentalize them. I want to read them. I want to evaluate them. I want to file them away. I need that time to myself. And I often feel like whenever I'm listening to music in the morning, it's distracting. When I need to focus, like in the morning, or if I'm doing a particularly hard mental task or something that requires a lot of focus, no music. I've also realized that not having any music kind of resets my nervous system. If I don't have any music, it honestly helps me like do some self-evaluation. I can like check in with myself, have some like mental conversations, like, okay, like how are we feeling today? What's going on? Like, what are the factors that could contribute to us not having the best day? And how can we prepare for them? That is what I do in the morning. That is the mental like check-in that I need for myself. It really helps with self-reflection and emotional regulation. Probably the most important thing that I realize is silence gives your brain a break from constant sensory input. Every day, we face a lot of sensory input, whether it's traffic, driving, honking, ambulances, music, people talking to us, just nature, birds, like airplanes. Like, we take in so much sensory input, whether it's visually, auditorily, like, and even feeling, like sensory. Moral of the story is have your silent moments. Next habit is reading a book. At the top of this year, in January 2025, we were in the US in talks with TikTok being on a ban. I came to terms with the fact that I'm a bit addicted to my phone. I'm a bit addicted to social media. Like most people my age, that's nothing new. But I kind of wanted to do something about it. I wanted to improve my focus. I wanted to find a place where I could go mentally that was still stimulating, but also not so brain rot, not so eating away at like my mental health, my physical health, and my overall well-being. I was looking for a place to escape. And then I thought, when was the last time I read a book? The answer was a couple weeks ago, but even that book, it took me a year to read because I just couldn't get into it. Granted, the book wasn't amazing, but I ended up finishing the book, and the feeling of finishing that book, I wanted to recreate that. I wanted to recreate the feeling of completion. I made a short film on my channel called Reading for Patient. Oftentimes I would find myself doom scrolling. Hours would pass. I would also like watch videos on 2x X, and I just felt really irritated, really irritable, really just overstimulated so quickly. I'm trying to reduce that. I definitely realize it's a byproduct of social media and overconsumption in these social media spaces. So yeah, I'm just trying to reset that. And I realized reading helped a lot. Reading has a lot of brain benefit. To sit down and focus on words on a page, I guess you really don't think about the difference of how that feels between scrolling and receiving information via somebody talking to you or you just reading fast words on a screen. Like, it's very different. It's very different. I also realized that reading helped to improve my communication skill. It also improved my writing skill. Ultimately, it helped me to articulate my thoughts and ideas a lot more precisely. Honestly, I love precise language. And also reading books that have a vocabulary that is a little bit more expansive than my own. There's nothing like coming across a word that you can't pronounce, don't know what it means. Like, taking that time to Google it, that's adulting. Sitting and reading a book trains your brain to focus for long periods of time. This. When you're reading a book, you can't just skip to the end. It really instills this idea of like longevity and patience and just focusing on something. Some mental and emotional benefits that I found within reading. Oftentimes you're reading books from somebody else's point of view. You're in their brain and you're hearing their thoughts. You're seeing their point of view. In the moment, I didn't realize it, but unbeknownst to me at the time, this helps to create a sense of empathy. Yes, this is a book, but this is kind of a person. A person wrote this. This is their thoughts. This is their point of view. And even if this is a fictional book, you're inside the mind of somebody else. You're inside the shoes of somebody else. In general, reading just helps to promote more worldly views. This is the current book I'm reading. If you're interested or want a full review, leave a comment down below. I'll let you know. But I'm definitely getting into this. Read a book. That's all I'm saying. The last habit you probably heard before and will definitely hear again. It's a really good habit, and that is practicing gratitude every single day at 8:33. I have a gratitude alarm that goes off on my phone. Why 8:33, you say? 8:33 is the closest to 888 as the clock will get. And 888 symbolizes abundance. And every day at abundance time, I want to think about my abundant life and all of the things that I'm grateful for. I feel like showing gratitude daily is probably one of the most underrated habits that I do. Gratitude trains your brain to see things positively, to see all the good in your life and to see how good things are going. And when you are thinking about that, you are able to see all of the good. Like, the good from out the woodworks, the good from long ago, the good from today. Focus on the good, and this ultimately leads you to a very optimistic mindset, which is exactly what you need when you're manifesting, when you're trying to have a good day, when you're just trying to have a good life. You need to approach things, you need to approach problems optimistically because there are more options. When my gratitude alarm goes off, I usually like to focus on things that happened that day that I'm specifically grateful for. In the beginning, when I first did the alarm, it would be like overarching things, but now it's very specific. Like, I'm really grateful that my coworker brought cupcakes in today. Like, I'm really grateful that I didn't have to put any gas in my car today because I did that yesterday. Like, I'm really grateful that I had enough money for this. I'm really grateful that I got that walk in at the perfect time. All of the little things because those little things are big things. Oftentimes I can find myself being in like a negative thought loop, and my gratitude alarm just helps to pull me out of that, gets me thinking in a more positive and optimistic mindset. There are various ways that you can show gratitude in your daily life. You could write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for every day in the morning or in the evening. Express gratitude by calling, texting, sending a meme, like sharing that with your friends and family. That is a great way to like deepen connections and just create more of a community. You could just sit and appreciate a positive moment that you had during the day. A gratitude journal, which is pretty popular nowadays, and you just like the 5-minute gratitude journal where you just sit and you just write, oh, for 5 minutes, I'm grateful for this today, or I'm grateful for that. And some people do it in the morning, some people do it in the evenings, but it doesn't matter what time you do it as long as you do it. Always be showing gratitude. It is very easy for us to get caught up in what we don't have, but it's a lot more fun to get caught up in what we do and what we enjoy and what we're grateful for. Like, how are you gonna have more if you're not grateful for what you have? This video is a testament of how doing these small but meaningful daily habits is one of the most powerful ways to create a productive, fulfilling, and happy life. Tiny, consistent actions done over a long period of time, a way of automating positive decisions, which ultimately leaves more room for you to create bigger decisions. Achieving these small daily wins has a way of strengthening your self-trust as well as building your confidence. Aligning your habits with your goals and values ultimately ensures you're consistently working towards the life you want. My advice, start small, stay consistent. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and making it to the end. I know that was a lot of information. I really appreciate you taking it all in, listening to me, hearing me out as I ramble and rant a little bit, but I feel pretty passionate about these habits, and I would just say I am a direct reflection of them working. I'm the type of person who wants to improve their life but is kind of struggling on where and how, and I'm realizing it's the small steps. You can only take one step at a time, so just take one step at a time. If you're interested in seeing content like this or content in the lifestyle, fashion, beauty, and travel realm, make sure you consider subscribing to my channel and leave me a comment below. Let me know how much you like this video. I'll definitely be making more parts to this video as I imagine I'll come into more habits. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. So come and follow me, just like subscribe.